Welcome to this Vinyasa flow class. My name's Roseanne. I'll be your guide today. So I'll focus a lot on our flows today. There will be chaturangas in this practice, and there's a fair bit of work for the shoulders because we are in down dog for periods of time. So join me on your mat, on your back, with your knees bent. We'll warm up through the arms here. So reach the fingertips toward the sky, scapular glides, reach to the ceiling, and then allow the backs of shoulder caps to ground. Reach and ground. So a few times. Reach, ground, and then open the arms and close, open and close. Open the arms, reach them overhead, and slide the hands along the earth and reach them toward your feet. So making a big circle here. Just want to warm up the arms nicely today because the shoulders will be working. One more time, reach overhead. And then bring those hands to your side, turn the palms down, begin to peel the sacrum off the earth, followed by the rest of the spine until you land on the shoulders. And begin to roll down through the upper ribs, lower ribs, mid back, and low back. So just a few times, a few rolls here as you press through the arms. I like to exhale as I roll up and inhale as I roll down. But feel free to try the reverse breath pattern and see how that feels. Flip-flop the breath. Notice your preference. And then come to the top, arms reach up, and just make circles with the arms. So legs stay where they are, just to feel through both feet and sense balanced weight there. Support our standing strength, our standing portions of practice. And then roll down through the spine, hug the knees in, rock the legs side to side. And extend the arms directly from the shoulder and bring the knees in alignment with the hips. And start with the legs squeezed together to lower the legs to one side and the other. Small range of motion here as you take a peek at the knees and see if they're level, because that lets you know how your pelvis is doing. And then play with the arms. Maybe you want to turn the palms down. So inhale and exhale back to center. Inhale and exhale. You can even add more of a Pilates breath here. Just strengthening through the waist. A more relaxed version of this later in class. When you're even on both sides, come back to center. You could just meet us sitting on your sits bones, or if it's safe for you to roll up and down your spine, you can do so here with rolling like a ball to come to the front of your mat in a forward fold. Hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. And exhale to fold, and then roll up through the spine. Nice generous bend in the knees. Early in the practice, arms sweep up and bring the hands through to heart center. And step back with that left foot, short stance, warrior one, to find through our feet. More play with the arms here. Reach the arms out to the sides, backs of palms up. Hands come together, and then bring them in front of the body and circle or roll through the wrists and open the arms. Reach up Backs of palms together as you reach them in front of the body. Roll through the wrists, open arms. And then again. Roll through wrists, open. Really allowing the arms, shoulders time to prepare. One last time. And open those arms, perhaps even interlace the fingers as you lengthen lead leg and pour your body forward. Hands release, come to the earth, bring the back shin to the ground and roll up through the spine into a low crescent to open up through the fronts of the hips as you rock forward and back here. Hands could also be at heart center or on the hips, or on the waist rather. And then hands come down to the earth, step back into a plank and come into your down dog. Roll forward into a plank and come into down dog. One more time, roll forward, bring the knees down and lower to the earth. Plant those forearms on the ground and lift through the chest here. Back extension in your Sphinx. Press through forearms, bend right knee as you look over left shoulder, and then switch. Bend left knee as you look over right shoulder. And as you do this, ground through the base of the pelvis, base of the glutes is pressing down. Just warming. One more. And then lower back down, slide the hands in, press yourself up and back into a downward facing dog. And walk or step the feet to the front of your mat. Hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold, and begin to roll up through the spine. Your arms past your heart, inhale. And exhale to heart center. Step back with the right foot, this time short stance, warrior one. Arms will open. So you don't have room here. Arms will open. Backs of palms together. Bring them in front of the body. Roll through the wrists and then open the arms. Just a few more. Last one, reach up. Roll through the wrists, arms come behind the body, interlace the fingers as you lengthen lead leg, and engage through your center as you pour forward. Hands release by either side of the lead leg. Set that back shin down, roll up through the spine so you're again in that 90-90 lunge. Maybe a little rock here. If you can integrate the ribs, have them sliding toward the pelvis. And then hands frame front foot as you step back into a plank. And let's again bend the knees to hover and send the hips high. Wave through the spine to come forward into a plank, bend the knees to hover, and then send the hips high. Let's do one more like this. Hips high for a moment as you pedal through the feet. And then roll forward into your plank. Maybe the knees come down, maybe they stay lifted as you lower, lower, lower all the way to the earth again. This time work for postural chain. Hands can be by the upper ribs as we lift through upper chest while we press again, base of the glutes down. Lower and lift. It's kind of out and up with the lift. So if you're rolling a ball away from you with your nose, and it might be very small. We don't want to over-engage in the low back. And if you find in this
really in this exercise, in this back extension. If you find already the low back is engaging a lot, then you're going to want to stay with more of the Sphinx rather than a low cobra or high cobra or up dog. Just want to protect that back. One more time. Now that we've tested the waters, and slide those hands back so you can press yourself into a downward facing dog. Let's take that right leg up into the sky. Bend the knee and come through center into a plank. Then reach that leg high. Come back into a plank. A few more like this, and I'll just model another option. Could be the knee down, like so. Or continue into that three-legged dog, into the plank. One more time. Lift, and then bring that leg through however you need to get there. And here we are in a runner's lunge with the hands down. Open up across the heart here. And then blade the back foot and windmill the arms up so you land in your warrior two. Reach the front arm or right arm high to the sky. And then come into a side angle. Let's turn the side angle into a triangle by lengthening lead leg, send the hips back in space. And then pivot on the back toes as you bend the lead knee so that left hand can come down, rotate toward the right leg. This can feel a little awkward, but this is elephant trunk. So we'll take that right hand, thread it underneath the same leg, and then open the torso to the right again. And then thread and open. One more time, thread and reach those fingertips high. And then frame the front foot here, and we'll step back into plank. Come forward slightly with the body. Again, knees could be down. Bend into chaturanga, bend the elbows. Find your Sphinx Cobra upward facing dog. And hips up and back, down dog. From here, that left leg will come high into the sky. And pull it through center into that plank. And reach up tall or high. And come forward. Really press actively through the hands. Again, that other option. Make sure there's no arching in the low back. Really use that breath to strengthen through your center. One more like this. And pull that leg through. You're in that runner's lunge. Again, broaden across the collarbones for an inhale. And exhale to blade back foot and circle arms up so you come into your warrior two. Drop right arm, reach through the left one. Lengthen through that left side body. And then bring that same forearm to sink thigh. Other arm might reach over the ear. Lengthen through the sides of the waist. And then straighten the front leg. Hips and the hips back in space. Triangle. One more inhale here. And exhale to bring that right hand down. Pivot on the back toes. And then rotate toward that left leg. Reach with those left fingertips. And then thread left hand underneath left leg. Open and close. You like this? Two. Last one. Lengthen, reach through the hand. And then frame front foot. And again, step back into that plank. Knees could be down here. Take your chaturanga. Elbows bend to hover. Lift through the heart as you press through hands. Activate the fronts of the legs if an up dog. And hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a small rest, your child's pose, widen the knees, turn those palms up for a minute, maybe clench and then release the hands. And then hands return to the earth, ground the palms. And weave up through your spine. So you come into tabletop for another little bit of mobility here, round through the spine and then arch, round and arch. One more time around and then roll up through the spine, arms sweeping behind the body, perhaps to the sacrum. Press hands into hips, hips press back as you open across the heart. And then return those hands to the earth, hips up and back, downward facing dog. We'll take that right leg up into the sky and bring that right leg to the right outer elbow. And then reach up. Again, right outer elbow. And reach up. And this can be done also in the tabletop. But also instead do a hydrant and just open up the knee because it can be a little awkward, a little congested. So maybe you just open the knee instead. One more time, bring that elbow to knee, hover for a moment, and then see if you can step that, land that right foot. So we're in a nice wide position. Step forward with the other leg, sink the hips so you can come into a low lunge or not lunge, squat. And then rise, press through the feet, arms circle, bring hands to heart for just a moment. Inhale. And exhale to bend the knees to squat. And then come tall, press through legs, arms reach, star. Rebend, hands to heart. Again, tall, star. And rebend. Hands come down as you lengthen the legs. Rotate toward the right, so that right arm will reach. And then switch sides. And both hands come back down as you step the legs into plank. Come forward slightly with the body. Bend the elbows to hover. Take your version of the up dog. And hips up and back, downward facing dog. Left leg rises. Bend the knee and drag it toward that left elbow. And reach up high, press your hands. Again, elbow, knee and elbow meet. Reach up. 2 more. Last one, pause. And see if you can plant left foot. From here, plant the right foot. And again, that squat. And rise. Hands to heart. Take an inhale. And exhale to squat. Press through the feet, lengthen arms, rise. And again, squat. So 2 more. Last one, reach. Squat. Lengthen legs as the torso pours forward. Rotate toward the left. The opposite knee might get a little micro bend in there. That's good. That's okay. And then opposite side. And then return those hands to the earth and step back again into a plank. Come forward. And this time, instead of chaturanga, maybe you just bring the chest through the arms. And then find your child's pose. Maybe this time you explore the shoulders and circle the arms back behind you to interlace the fingers and close the circuit. 2 more breaths, approximately. Again, it always depends on your pace. Next time you exhale, begin to roll up. Hands can come behind the body, fingertips toward you as you lift through the fronts of the legs. Lower, lift, and lower. 2 more. Last one, press your hands, open the heart. Maybe stick with the tongue and come back down with the hips, hands plant, tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right leg rises. And cross that right knee toward the left elbow as you come into your plank. And lengthen to three-legged dog. And find that cross. Lengthen. Cross. This is going to be challenging. Lengthen. Cross. You could just stay here or extend that right leg out to that left side. And this could be where you stay also, especially if you feel like you need to work on leveling out the weight through the hands. Or blade back foot, hips lift nice and high. Left arm will reach, fall in triangle. One more inhale. And exhale, left hand returns to the earth as you rebend that left knee, suction cup it in toward your center, bring it to midline and reach it high. Rebend the right knee, stack the hips open toward the right side wall. Again, even weight through the hands. So this again could be where you stay, or you might allow that right foot to land as we turn the torso toward the sky. Inseams of the legs squeeze toward one another. Lift hips high, weight through legs as much as arms. And then return that right hand, lift that right leg high and drape the shin for pigeon. Woohoo! If pigeon is in your practice. Today, my knee's been bugging me just a little from a hike that I had. So I'm going to lower my right hip and turn it into a deer. So with deer, I'll just turn so you can see. The knees can be bent and we can come forward instead of a long back leg. So if there's any discomfort in the knee, try deer. Play with your angles of your legs until you feel this in the right glute. More inhale here. Exhale, ha. And then bring the hands or lift the body up if you were all the way down in your pigeon. I'll come into pigeon so you can see. So lengthen back leg, tuck the back toes, and see if you can reach that right leg high into the sky. And one more time, let's come forward into plank. Maybe you keep that right leg lifted, point the foot. You could also have feet side by each. Bend at the elbows to hover, and then come into your version of up dog and your version of the down dog. Then that left leg will come high. Cross that left knee to the right elbow. And then return to three-legged dog. A few more like this. Cross and lift. Really breathe here. Nice and powerful. Last time, cross. And lengthen that left leg. And again, you could stay right here. Or lift hips as you start to blade that back foot and lengthen right hand to the sky. One more inhale. And exhale to bring that hand back down. Suction cup in left leg. Extend it and reach it high. Only to flex at the knee, stack hips to the left this time. Again, find the press through the hands, active fingers. They pull slightly toward one another. Stay here, or left foot will land as the torso turns to sky. One more inhale, press through the feet. And exhale, left hand comes down as we pivot on those right toes so that the left leg can come high. And then drape the shin of the left leg through between the hands. You might stay with your pigeon, extending that right leg long directly out of the hip socket. And pressing that front shin into the earth can help to protect the knee. Or maybe you choose another variation like deer or figure four. And again, explore the lean wherever you are. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe bring a little bit of fluidity into the upper body. There's tension there. Wiggle the face. And from wherever you are, adjust so you can tuck the back toes, press through hands to draw that left knee in toward you and lift the leg high. And this is where you can have feet side by each or wave forward. Three-legged plank, bend at the elbows to hover, and find your version of the up dog. And finally, our last down dog. Knees bend and hover. Just engage the core a little more. It's as if you're trying to hover the knees, yet suction cup them in toward your center. And lower the knees, come all the way onto the belly. Just pause. Maybe bend the knees, crisscross ankles, or windshield washer them side to side, whatever you would like. Place them back down. That right arm can extend. Maybe this is enough of a stretch for some people, or maybe you rock the pelvis. Some people will roll onto their right side as that left hand grounds with the elbow bent. It could be really small, could be that the left leg bends and comes to the earth. Could be that the foot lands in behind the body. So play with this here and only do this if it feels good. If it doesn't, you could do a chest stretch just seated, opening up across the heart. More inhale and exhale to roll onto the belly and extend the left arm out as the right hand plants. You might stay here, you might rock just a little. Test the waters before you start to roll onto the left side. Again, right leg could be in front. Right, it could be very small. I can even feel it still when I do that. Or plant right foot in behind. It gives you a safe yet effective sensation of stretch. Honoring your body, its bone structure. Soften through the neck. And then draw that arm in as you return to your belly, only so you can come onto your spine. So get there however you need to get there. And hug the knees in. Maybe reach the legs toward the sky, stretch the backs of the hamstrings, flex through the feet. Bring the heels in alignment with the hips again. Maybe open the legs if that's comfortable for you. Knees could also be bent and open. One more inhale. And exhale to bring those legs together. And you could keep them side by each, because now we'll come into our rotation, bringing the legs to the left. But you could also cross that right leg over the left one if you'd like. Adjust the hips so it feels good in your body, and then open the arms, whichever you prefer, or another rotation. Feel the opening across the chest and shoulders, all the way down the arms. One more inhale. And exhale to return those legs to center. If they are crossed, or if you'd like to cross them, you could clasp opposite ankles just for a moment and bring them toward you. And then we'll open the legs again into that V or more of a frog with the knees bent. I don't have the room, so I'm choosing the frog. And then legs could squeeze together and come over to the right, or cross, adjust, and come to the right. Or inhale into that left side. Maybe even down the left leg. And when you exhale, or the next exhale, bring the legs back to center. And again, you could cross them to experiment. This could be a little awkward to clasp opposite ankles. If you don't like it, just a knee hug. Good for the brain, though, to be crossed like this. And then release the legs. Again, bring them together, toes toward nose. And then feet can return to the earth. Let's release for the pelvic floor here. Heel toe, those feet to the outside edges of the mat. The knees come together for knee mountain. Did a lot of work for our center today with all of those planks. Diaphragmatic breathing here. And see if you can sense through the diaphragms the movement through your lung diaphragm, your main diaphragm. Maybe the rumble through the throat diaphragm. Maybe as you inhale, release of the pelvic diaphragm. You could stay like this, or when you're ready, circle the shins round to lengthen the legs. And take your variation of Savasana for a short time here.
Let the forehead smooth. Let the eyes relax. Sense the breath as it comes in and out through the nostrils. And sense the breath through the throat. And the upper lungs. And deeper to lower lobes of the lungs. And feel the wave of the breath through your torso. Stay in touch with your breath. Let it be your anchor as you wiggle the fingers and toes. Roll wrists and ankles, perhaps. Change direction. Invite a long body stretch if it serves. Bring out a yaw, let it become real. Reach right side long, left side, right and left as the first waking up in the morning. Or you hug those knees in and roll to your favorite side. Feel the grounded side and your lifted side. And on your next exhale, press through top hand to lift yourself up into seated. And maybe cross your legs the opposite way that feels comfortable. And lower the head to one side and then the other. Any degree. And for some, as long as there's, as long as your neck feels really healthy, you might make a full circle. You don't come all the way back, but so there's no compression in the neck. I know I say that a lot in class, but it's important. And reverse. When you're finished your last circle, drop the chin. And then look up as the arms reach up. Bring the hands to your forehead. May our thoughts come from our hearts. Hands to the throat, into the mouth. May our words be empowered, but yet kind. And to the heart where compassion lies, may it radiate through us. Thank you for practicing with me today. Sat Nam. You enjoyed that practice, check out the channel and subscribe. Have a wonderful day. And take care.